Greetings, boys and girls. My name is Aridin Kane. Today, I'll show you how to find the best location for your first outpost on Bessel III-b. Then we'll set you up with all the necessary things to use the outpost to farm experience and credits, increase several essential skills, and much more. Now that you know what we're doing, let's get started. This outpost we're building will be central to the next few videos I create and will significantly improve your quality of life and progression in the early game especially. So remember to get subscribed so you can take advantage of those videos. Before heading to our new home system, we need to go shopping for resources. We're starting off at the space dock in New Atlantis. We're going to make our way to Jemison Mercantile that can be found just outside the dock area. It's easy to get to and will provide all the resources that we need. As we leave the dock area, we're going to head off to our left, and in the distance you'll see Jemison Mercantile. Making our way inside the building, we'll want to talk to Emily behind the counter.
If you don't see what you want, feel free to ask. Oh, please, take a look.
So I've gone ahead and posted our shopping list on the right-hand side of your screen. I know at first it seems like it's a lot, but it's really not. There's 16 resources that we need, but we only need a couple of each. This should cost you between like 1,000 and 2,000 credits. But this is all we need to buy to complete the outpost. The outpost itself will provide the rest. So let's go ahead and go down to our resource tab here, and we'll start grabbing the things we need. A total of 3 adhesive, 3 alkanase, and then we need 29 aluminum, which we got. That's lucky. And we'll come down to benzene, we need 3. Beryllium, we need 4. Come down a little further to chlorine, we need a total of 4 of those. Cobalt, we need 16, but they only have 14, so we'll have to deal with that in a minute. But we'll take the 14 that they have. And we'll take copper, we need 5. Cosmetic, we need 4. Come down a little further to fiber, we need 5. A little bit further down, we need iron, total of 24. Lead, we need 2. Down a little further. And we need nickel, a total of 18. And then sealant, we need 9. Then down to tungsten, we need a total of 8. And then finally, zero wire, we need 2. So we have most of our resources, but we'll still have to deal with the couple that we're still missing. And there's a couple of options here. We could go to another store, or we could come to this bench and we'll go ahead and have a seat, and that will give us the option to wait. So we're going to wait for a total of 24 local hours. So you'll notice that for 24 local hours, in parentheses, it has 50 local hours of universal time. Universal time is what most of the systems in the game work on. So for example, merchants, most of them reset their inventory and reset their caps every 48 universal hours. So by resting these 24 hours of local time, we're getting a total of 50 hours of universal time. So what that means is once we're done resting here, we'll be able to go back into the store, speak with Emily, and she will have a brand new inventory of resources as well as a brand new set of caps. So we're finishing up the rest right here. We'll go ahead and stand up, and then we'll run back into the store and talk to Emily.
If it belongs on your... Oh, please, take a look.
So we're just going to go back down to our resource tab, and hopefully she'll have some cobalt for us, and she does. So we need a total of 2 more cobalt to equal 16. I'll go ahead and buy that. And now we have all the resources we need. So now we are ready to go to our new homeworld. So since the resources we needed didn't weigh that much and we're not over encumbered, we can just open up our map, and we'll back out a couple of screens. And then we'll head up here to the north to the Bessel system. And we'll go ahead and jump. And I will usually go into the map screen as quickly as possible when I jump into a system like this for the first time. That prevents other things from being able to spawn in and hurt me and prevent us from traveling. So we'll back out 1, and you'll see right next to Bessel 3, we've got Bessel III-b. So we'll go ahead and click on that, and then we will set a course and travel. So here we are at Bessel III-b, and we're going to open up our map, and then we're going to hit R to scan for resources. So what this will do is it'll show us what's available to us as far as resources on this planet. And note the resource maps for everybody's planet will be the same, but the landmarks, they will be different. So you may not have a Forgotten Mech graveyard sitting right there on your planet. So we're going to find this patch right here, this big patch of aluminum with some nickel to the left and then some aluminum to the north. We'll zoom in there real tight. And so we're looking for a very specific spot. And to find it, we're going to put our cursor about midway between this aluminum and this nickel. And then maybe leaning more towards the nickel side of things. So we'll go ahead and drop a landing point, but don't land yet. So we found a hill biome. So generally what we're looking for, and I'll put a graphic up on the screen to kind of relate this a little better. We want a spot where there's mountains, and then to the left of that, there's going to be a rocky desert biome, and then to the south of that mountain, there will be a hill biome. So basically what you're going to do, we've got hills that we've kind of found so far. Generally, you'll find the mountains to the north of the hills, and then if you end up in a rocky desert, you'll want to move to the right because mountains will be to the right of that rocky desert. So for right now, let's go to the north a little bit until we find mountains. Okay, so there's our mountains. Now we want to move to the left a little bit, just tiny little increments of movement, preferably 1 pixel, but it's not too picky. So we'll keep going until we find that rocky desert, and then we're going to go back to our mountain, and that's going to be our landing point. So before we exit the ship, let's go ahead and get up from the cockpit. You know, notice it's not real light outside. We're going to fix that. This is way more fun to do during the daytime. So we're going to go ahead and sleep, and it's currently, 11:41? So right about midnight. We'll sleep for 8 hours. That'll get us to about 8 o'clock in the morning, which will make this process a lot easier on you. So here we are. It's 8 o'clock in the morning or thereabouts. We're going to go ahead and leave the ship. And then if you're exiting the frontier, it's a front-facing exit, so you want to turn around to the rear of the ship. And that mountain peak right there, that's exactly what we're looking for. You'll see it slopes down to the right, and we're just basically going to run as quickly as we can to the base of that mountain. And the nice thing about Bessel III-b is that there's very low atmosphere, so we get nice big jumps and take advantage of your boost pack if you have one. And so basically where we're heading, you'll see we're in a hill biome right now. And if you keep going to the base of that mountain, you'll notice that over there it's a different biome. And then we have the mountain as a third biome. So we are just going to keep running to the base of that mountain, ignoring that ship that's landing because we're not going there. Even though it's killing me. So we basically, once we get to these kind of rock formations, we want to keep those on our right-hand side. And we'll just keep running and kind of curl around those formations there. And we'll come to another set of these formations. And you'll see there's a little bit of rock right there. the formations here. And then we've kind of got this acid plume. So keep that on our left, this rock formation on our right. Keep going. And right about now, we'll go ahead and open up our scanner, and we will drop an outpost. And you'll see immediately we've got aluminum, nickel, iron, and cobalt. That's exactly what we came here for. So let's get the placement perfect. So you'll see we've got these rocks that disappear when we put the beacon over it. We want to move it a little bit to the right. So right about there. Go ahead and place our beacon down, and that's our location. So now we're actually at the fun part. We get to build the things that are going to go into our outpost. And the first thing we want to build is an aluminum extractor. So let's go ahead and drop down to that, and then we're going to go into our overhead view mode. To do that, you hit V on PC and your view key on, or view button on Xbox. So we'll zoom out a little bit, and we're going to go up here to this blue patch in the north part of the camp or outpost. And then we're going to place our extractor right within that blue area. Place that, and then we'll go to our power tab, and we're going to choose 2 wind turbines. And you'll notice that our total power has gone up to 6. So we have that extractor powered. Then we're going to back up to our beacon again, and we are going to go over to the structures tab and find the outpost airlock. So I will usually build it right about here. And we want to turn it to the right so that the stairs are on the right hand side. Maybe over a little more, just like that. So then we'll go ahead and place that. And then you can play with the height of it. You want to make sure it's tall enough so that you can place a hab on the left without any problems. So usually right about there. So there's just a set of stairs, one set of stairs going up instead of multiple levels. So I'll drop that there. And then I like to put a hydroponic hab attached to that. And I like the nice square one. But put whichever one you like. So we'll go ahead and drop that. Drop out of view mode, overhead view. And we're going to grab our beacon. And then we're going to move it right over here next to our hab. This won't change our build radius, but what it will do is when we visit our outpost, it generally puts us right next to the beacon. So I like to move that next to the hab so I have easy access. So we'll go ahead and drop that. And then we're going to head into our actual hab. We'll get out of build mode. So entering the airlock, we'll back into build mode. And then if we go over to the furniture tab, we're going to drop a bed. And then over here, we'll go back to the crafting tab, and we'll just put an industrial workbench right there. So with these first steps complete, we can now head over to our bed, and we can rest to pass some time to allow the aluminum extractor time to fill up, as we'll need a lot more aluminum to build the next couple of items. So now is an excellent time to explain what makes Bessel III-b a perfect location for your first outpost. Time passes at different rates in Starfield on other planets as it does in real life. We kind of alluded to this when we were gathering our resources before. You'll see local time, and then in parentheses you'll see universal time when you go to wait or sleep. This is called time dilation. Local time references time on your current planet, while universal time references what time is everywhere else. For example, on Bessel III-b, where we're at now, every hour spent sleeping on this planet equals almost 58 hours of universal time. This is handy when you realize that extractors, merchants, and other things in Starfield operate on universal time. So let's rest for 1 hour. This will provide us with 58 hours of extractor time to quickly fill our aluminum extractor. Now that we've rested, our extractor has been busy, and we have a fresh harvest of aluminum to create more extractors and wind turbines. We'll build a single cobalt, nickel, and iron extractor precisely as we did with the aluminum extractor, and 2 wind turbines to power each. So we'll go back into Outpost build mode, and then into Overhead, and then back to our extractors, and the first one we want to build is a cobalt extractor. And if we zoom back out and kind of look towards the mountain, we'll see this blue patch over here, and this is going to be where our cobalt exists. And again, we want to get the extractor just within the radius there, and we'll drop that. And then heading back to our power tab, go to wind turbines, and they're kind of hard to place when you're near the mountain, but not too difficult. And then, so we'll drop 2 of those, and then back to our extractors, and we'll drop a nickel extractor over here in this orange area. And then again, back to the power tab to drop 2 more wind turbines. And then once more back to extractors for the iron extractor, which is over here in this kind of reddish orange area. And so we'll drop that extractor there. And once again, 2 more wind turbines. 1 and 2. And now we'll get out of outpost mode, and we will sleep in our bed one more time. So with all 4 extractors complete and having rested to replenish our supplies in those extractors, you're probably wondering how much those extractors hold. Well, the answer is not very much. We're going to fix that now. In Outposts, we can currently build 3 types of storage containers: liquid, gas, and solid. For our purposes, we need solid storage. Opening up the build menu and going into the storage tab shows that we need aluminum, iron, and something called adaptive frame. We already know that we effectively have an unlimited supply of aluminum and iron. Still, we'll need to craft adaptive frames using the industrial workbench we placed earlier. The workbench reveals that adaptive frames require iron and aluminum to create. So with some rest, we can make as much storage as we need. Let's go ahead and craft some adaptive frames. And we'll go ahead and craft 99 since that's about half of our resources. So we'll go ahead and confirm that. Now note that we got 108 experience for crafting those 99 adaptive frames. That'll become important later. So leaving the workbench, we'll go back into build mode and once again into overhead mode. We'll drop down to solid storage, and I'm kind of particular about the placement of all things. So I like to place my storage containers right about there. So we're going to place 4 containers, 1 for each type of material that we're going to store. And just go ahead and drop them just like this. With our storage created, we need to tell the extractors to send the resources to our containers by creating output links. To do this, we'll hover over one of our extractors and create an output link. For PC, this is right-click. On Xbox, it's the right trigger. Then we'll move over the container that we want the resource to go to. To finalize the output link, hit the E key on PC or the A button on Xbox. That resource will now go to that container automatically. So let me show you what that looks like. So we're going to head up here to our aluminum extractor, and since I'm on PC, I'm going to hit right click, and then we'll go down to this first container, and then we'll hit E to confirm that. So now I'll show you what that looks like on controller, just so nobody feels neglected. So we're going to hover over the Cobalt container, and we're going to hit the right trigger, and then we're going to come down here to our second container, and then we're going to hit A to create the output link. Easy peasy. So I'll do the rest of these on with PC just because that's what I'm most comfortable with. So we'll right click there, drop down to our third container, and then we'll come to our iron extractor, which should be right here. Yes, and we'll right click there and come to our fourth container. Now, we have all 4 containers sending resources to individual storage containers. This is great, but we should probably scale up the number of storage containers for each resource. The containers snap to each other and they are also stackable. Feel free to create as many as you want, but I'm going to create 10 for each of them. So there's 2. We'll just move to the right a little bit. 4. The snapping is not the smoothest thing in the world with this game. There's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so we're out of resources for this, so we'll need to rest for a little bit and get some more aluminum and maybe a few more adaptive frames. So we'll go ahead and rest for 1 hour. And then we'll maybe make another 100 adaptive frames, 99. And again, note, we got 108 experience for that. Back into build mode and overhead. Come back. So now we have 10 containers for each resource type. Now the last thing we need to do is basically the same thing we did with the extractors to the containers. We need to create output links from container to container. So what that looks like, it's the same exact process. We're just going to right click or right trigger and then go to the next container and confirm that with E or the A button. And this creates a chain. So we're just going to go down each row and do the same exact thing until we get to the end of the row. So effectively what this does is pulls the resources from the extractor into the first container and then basically goes down the line automatically to the last container. So the last container fills first and then the next one from that and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and do that for the rest of our containers. So we got to right click E, right click E, right click E, right click E. And you probably don't want to go too fast if you're not real comfortable with this. And we'll do it with the Xbox just to show you what it looks like. So right click A, right click A, right click A, right click A. And you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you're specifically on the one you're expecting to be on. Because it's kind of hard to remove these storage links. And A. So then we'll do the last row right here. Right click E, right click E, right click E, right click E. Okay, so now we have our complete storage system with our resource harvesting complete. There are a couple more things that we want to build. The most important of which is we go back into our build mode or build menu, and then all the way on the end, on the last menu, we'll go down to the launch pad with ship builder. And I like to place this right here. I want it to be close to our hab. I also like it when you get out of your ship, or when you're in your ship and you're looking over and you see your storage containers. For some reason that just makes me happy. So we're going to place it right here so we have access to both of those things. And we brought enough resources. Really the only resource that we didn't have would have been the beryllium and the zero wire, but we bought enough of that to be able to make this. So we'll go ahead and create that, and then we'll get out of overhead mode. We'll go back into our hab, and if we go back a couple of menus to the crafting menu, you'll see we have a bunch of other workbenches there, and we're going to build one of each, just because that makes our outpost that much more useful to us. So we'll go to the cooking, we'll start with the weapon workbench because I like things in a specific order. So we've got the weapon workbench there, and we'll drop a spacesuit workbench right there. And again, we've already brought enough resources with us to be able to build all of these. And then I like to put the research lab over here in this corner, kind of bring it out a little bit. And then over here, we can put the pharmaceutical lab. And you can play with the placement later. And then over here, I, for some reason, always put the, the cooking station over here. And then we also have our ship. So I'm gonna just kind of jump up here. And what you can do is go into your ship builder, because you'll notice your ship is not there. You go into ship builder, view and modify ships, and then actually go into ship builder. And then if you back out and then back out again, there's your ship. It's gotten better. In the first couple hundred hours I was playing this game, that didn't happen as smoothly, but it should be pretty consistent now. As I indicated earlier, this video is the jumping off point for a series of videos showing you how to take advantage of the properties of this outpost. I'll show you how to efficiently raise several key perks, not to mention farming the experience to get the perk points in the first place. We're also going to build some really cool ships. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of those videos. I'd also really appreciate it if you could like this video and leave a comment below to help this video get out to more people. The video to my left on the top is a link to the next video in this series, and the video on the bottom is the video YouTube thinks is best for you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.